sci-fi mesmo hard, meu. Muito bacaninho, pá. Dá para perceber o porquê de querem fazer aquilo. Cerca de 10 minutos.
Deep zone, easy peasy.
Except for the issue of the old wall.
Right, yeah. That. You got some genius idea up your sleeve, huh?
Is that how you think it works? That scientists conjure up genius at will?
Well, yeah. Do you?
Well, in this case, I do. But don't expect it to work like that every time. Driver, the quarantine checkpoints will be the best way through the old wall, but they're death traps in their own right. But I designed something to help. Check out the blueprints I sent over.
The Deep Zone Crossing. Limb Shield.
The old anomalies took up residence in the crossing points. It's not enough to have a shield. The shield itself needs to be shielded.
The energy drain on that shield is massive. It won't last you more than 5 seconds.
Yes, and?
You'll need to recharge on the go, but the Deep Zone's grid is completely dark.
You know, what if we could reroute our power into the deep zone? But we'd need to jumpstart the network somehow.
That car is basically the world's most overpowered electromagnet on wheels. The driver induces a current, then you open the electrical floodgates.
They'd have to induce the current the entire way through the old wall while making the crossing and maintaining speed.
I don't know what to tell you. If you don't believe the driver and that car's got what it takes by now, then go back to hunting ghosts. We've got a job to do here.
This could work. Are you in, Francis?
I don't know.
Look, we have a real chance of losing everything at the old wall. I'd like to not fail this far along.
How can we know this will work?
We don't. That's how science works. We form a theory, and we test it, and we fail, and fail, and fail, and only sometimes do we succeed.
Come on, Francis. Please?
Fine. I'll do it.
All right. The team is assembled.
Driver, get on with building that limb shield. We'll work on spinning up the power grid in the meantime.
Ask. Were you around when the old wall was nearly breached?
You want to know if I was involved?
I mean, sure. No one knew more about where anomalies came from than you. Heck, I mean, you know, the only reason anyone knew anything about anomalies was because of the research branch that you four started to build.
Yes, and we developed ways to prevent anomalies, not create them.
You can't prevent something if you don't know where it's created in the first place.
So you did pick up a thing or two around us scientists.
Liz, I didn't give two craps about anomaly prevention. You fought uphill the entire way.
Never thought I'd see the day where you'd sugarcoat anything coming out of your mouth. The Harmonic Disruption Research Lab was an abject failure. No, I wasn't involved, but I stood by and let it happen. By that point, the LIM project was in a bad way. Either it found a breakthrough and justified the government resources it was sucking up, or the entire project was put down. Everything depended on this technological quantum leap that evaded us for decades. In response, all good sense went straight out the window. For every wonder pulled out of thin air, LIM technology conjured increasingly greater horrors. But it was done in the name of progress, and we were powerless to stop it. The Harmonic Disruption Research Branch was all I could do to soften the atrocities Arda unleashed in the name of progress.
I tried to clean up my mess, but I failed. To try crossing the old wall since the anomalies moved in. But we'll make sure you're the first to survive. 2 things to keep in mind. First, to get through the old wall, there are 5 crossing points. You need to induce the electrical grid the entire way by driving the car close enough and fast enough along the conductors. You'll see them as you go. Once you jumpstart the grid, Tobias will route the mid-zone power your way, but no induction, no power, no crossing.
Second, watch your battery gauge. You will live or die by that thing. Got it? Good. Start by connecting the power grid at the first crossing point. The controls will be up in the observation tower.
Chegamos. Veja, o tower é este.
There are old shuttle stops at each crossing point. Use them to recharge your battery and hope they're still in working condition after all these years.
Ok. Credo.
Tobias, how's the power routing?
Well, the neighbors are complaining about the flickering lights, but I told them to light some candles and sit tight.
Francis?
The levels are good, holding steady. Getting some interference, Tobias. The power supply is wavering.
I'm working on it. Our local battery farm's putting up a fuss. She hasn't been taxed like this in a while, but I'm easing her into it, don't worry.
Battery farms 1 through 3 are reporting total power drain. They're spent.
How long to recharge?
Could take up to a day.
No, I got this. Oh, shit.
Total power loss on stations 9 through 15.
I'm on it. Oh, shit.
Get that power back up. The gate at the final crossing point won't open without it.
I'm rerouting power from Battery Farm 6.
EC. Too much and you'll blow out your control center.
Too little and the entire array's going down. We have no choice. Battery Farm 6 core's overloaded. It's shutting down.
We can't lose the remnant. I won't let it go.
Get back inside! The radiation's peaking.
I've got to repair it. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let this plan fail. We're too close. Your theory, we can still prove it.
Stop! It's too dangerous out there! Tobias! Please, Tobias, come back! Tobias, please! Tobias, please come back!
I'm at the battery farm.
The fuse box is completely liquefied, but I can bypass it.
Francis, I need you back at the control board.
Not now, Oppie!
The minute Tobias reroutes that line, you need to push the
Connection. Miss it by a split second and we lose the entire power grid.
No. Almost ready.
Please don't do this!
Francis, it's now or never.
I'm rerouting the grid now. I'll be ready for you.
Give us the signal, Tobias. Tobias, stay with us.
I got you, Hoppy. Francis. Well, what do you know? One time, I find myself out of things to say. Hoppy, take care of him for me.
Tobias!
Francis, I love you forever.
I love you forever.
Oh,
Power's back online. Francis, now!
Tobias, answer. Please, Tobias, answer me.
Don't do it! You can't go out there! Driver, the power's holding steady. You can open that final gate.
coitado do nosso Tobias. I need a second. Já chorou a criança, foda-se.
The entire area got scrambled in instability. I'm afraid, Tobias.
I told you. I told you, didn't I? We weren't ready. We should have planned it better. We should have known.
We did the best we could.
No, do not give me that. If we had,
He'd be here with us.
I'm sorry, but we've got to help the driver.
Don't you dare. What? Wait, is this how you dealt with Alan's death? You put your head down and let work fill the gaps?
Actually, that's precisely what I did. And you'll recall the breakthrough in self-healing materials that I made that year.
Oh, well, good for you. I'm sure Alan would have been very proud of you using his death that way.
You know what? That whole pep talk I gave you before, to convince you to go through with it. That's precisely the same crap Alan would tell me all the time. It's worth the sacrifice. Stay late, don't worry about me. Finish your work, then we can start a family. Always he'd spew that crap.
So why'd you say it to me?
Because he has to have been right. Because if I let myself think he was wrong, then I can't live with that regret. I gave everything for Lim. This is the last thing I'm holding on to for myself. Every single day I still think about how if I had left the zone when we had planned to, I wouldn't have lost Alan. I hoped that Lim Tech was done killing our own. I'm sorry about Tobias.
Tobias?